So why did Lewis Hamilton get penalised in the Italian Grand Prix? Hello, my name is Alex Does F1 Stuff and welcome to another random F1 episode. And today we are looking at just that. Why did Lewis Hamilton get penalised in the Italian Grand Prix? As it is not quite as straightforward as driving into the pit lane when it was closed. Yes, it was. It's a nice slam dunk, boof. He's drove in, it was closed, illegal, 10-second stop and go, led to the manic, hectic race, which I've done 2 reviews for so far. But there is a lot of detail about this, a lot of decisions, a lot of light panels, a lot of stewards' decision making, etc, and ultimately a blunder from Mercedes. So here is the official document number 44 actually, for car 44, issued by the FIA under their event timing and information page. So time 1541, offence, breach of article 28.14 of the Formula 1 sporting regulations. Decision, a 10-second stop and go penalty which shook up the race after the red flag. 2 penalty points have been imposed, a total of 8 in the 12-month period, so is only 4 away from a race ban. The stewards reviewed the video evidence and noted that the pit lane was closed at 15:41:47. The pit lane closed message was displayed on the timing page 3, and the pit lane closed lights were displayed on light panels 16 and 17 at the same time. Lewis Hamilton entered the pit lane at 15:41:59. 12 seconds after the pit lane was closed. Which, honestly, that's not a great deal of time, but yes, he still entered it when it was closed. Whereas if we compare this to Giovinazzi, who also received a penalty for the exact same incident, the stewards noted that the pit lane was closed at 15:41:47, and car 99 entered the pit lane 67 seconds after, at 15:42:54. Which, considering they have access to exactly the same information, that is a definite blunder, and 60 seconds is enough time, more than enough time, to react to the pit lane being closed. But anyway, it mentions the light panels. If we have a look at the event notes for the Italian Grand Prix version 2, actually they made a edited version published on Friday. Point number 4. The FIA light panels have been installed in the positions shown on the circuit map. In accordance with Appendix H to the ISC, the light signals have the same meaning as flag signals, which we all know. We've sometimes seen we always see the blue flashy lights for the blue flags on the main straights and at corners, the yellow flags, the safety car flashing, etc. And then point number 5, the track light panel displaying pit entry status. The light panel indicated on the pit lane map will display a flashing yellow arrow if the cars are required to use the pit lane once the safety car has been deployed during the race, which we have seen a few times. If there's been an accident on the start-finish straight, the cars will go through the pit lane. And then 5.2, the light panel indicated on the pit lane map will display a flashing red cross if the pit lane is closed at any point during the race. So let's pull up said track map, and here it is for Monza, for Italy. Track map on the left, we are looking in the bottom left, light panels 16 and 17 at the exit of Parabolica, before we head to light panel number 1 at the start finish straight. And then the diagram in the top right is again released by the official FIA documentation along with the Italian Grand Prix race. We've got the 2 green X's indicating the pit lane entry status, safety car line number 1, the safety car first lap, pit entry board which you cannot go past once you have passed it. If that makes sense, you cannot rejoin the track after going past the pit entry board. The pit lane starts, the pit lane ends, and safety car line number 2. So we have the scenes all perfectly laid out, and 12 seconds after the pit lane closed would put Hamilton at around about the Ascari chicane, just after the Ascari chicane. And if I just pull up a photo, a still image released as he's coming up to marshal light number 16, you can see not so clearly that it's a cross, but it is clearly red. Clearly red, and red indicates that the pit lane is closed. And then the next picture is him going past light marshal post number 17, which again, it is clearly red, which means the pit lane is clearly closed. And one final still from Lewis Hamilton's onboard footage is him at the pit lane entrance with the yellow bollard, which he can no longer rejoin the track after going past. As we saw in Germany, he still got penalised for such an incident. But there is no information at the pit lane entrance that the pit lane is closed, which is what Hamilton said on his team radio, that was there a red light? I didn't see a red light at the pit entry. But we know there is one at the exit if the pit lane is closed, which kind of doesn't make any sense because we've seen it in, for example, Canada 2008 when Hamilton ran into the back of Raikkonen and then Rosberg ran into the back of Lewis. It's just on the onboard footage there was no visible red light at the pit entry. However, he did go past two light posts at the exit of Parabolica. However, under safety car conditions, you instantly pit. Instinct just tells you pit under safety car conditions, and you're going around a 150-ish mile an hour, 140 mile an hour corner, which is a right hand turn. You know that you're going to pit because the safety car has come out, so you're concentrating on the right hand side of the track, and the marshal light posts are on the left, so it is going to be nigh on impossible for Lewis Hamilton to see those light panels. However, his team should have been on the ball. It took a phone call from Brackley to realise the mistake that they had made, which that shouldn't happen. They should have someone staring at page 3, timing page number 3, and telling the team the pit lane is closed, we cannot pit, stay out, exactly like everybody else did. But they only had 12 seconds in their defence. 12 seconds is not a long time, considering you get the call, you get the safety car come out, the pit lane closes because of the incident where he's just gone past Magnussen. You know that you're going to pit. Hamilton knows he's going to pit because it's a safety car, and then it takes about 5, maybe 10 seconds for you to realise, oh crap, the safety car, the pit lane's closed, like it's actually closed. But in those 5-10 seconds that it takes you to realise that, this is exactly where Lewis Hamilton is, and he cannot rejoin the track at this point. Ultimately though, I suppose it is a good thing to see that the Mercedes car isn't bulletproof, that they can make mistakes. And on screen now is just a selection of my favourite pictures over the weekend that I have pulled together, as I just want to have a little chat. It's good to see that that team can and has made some mistakes, as it did cost them the victory in the end. It definitely, hands down, if he hadn't have had that 30-second stop and or 10-second stop and go equating to about 34 seconds race time, he'd have easily won that race, hands down. But that's the way it goes sometimes. That is racing, and it was a cracking race, and one that is always going to be filled with high emotions, and then for people like Bottas it's going to be filled with some pretty deep lows. We've just got to take every race as it comes as fans, because the past few have been meh. They've had good midfield racing, but this was a solid race, like easily 10 out of 10. And this is the race that the sport needed as a whole. But that is going to be the end of this little detailed look at some more of the facts regarding the Lewis Hamilton penalty. Yes, it was a clean-cut, instant sort of decision that enter the pit lane closed, easy, stop-and-go penalty. But there's just a little bit more detail to it than everybody first imagines. Even more detail to it than I first thought there was until I actually sifted through it all. But that is all I've got for you today, guys. I hope you have enjoyed that quick little video there, and I will catch you in the next one with whatever and whenever I decide to make it. I'll see you guys then.